Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 14 of the inEXP podcast. My name is Chris McCormick, and I'm here with Jimmy the Pap Smear Shepherd.
Whoa. Pap Smear?
It's Jimmy the Pap Shepherd,
Okay.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Jimmy Pap Shepherd, that's
Thanks
the one.
for listening.
James, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, actually. Quite psyched up, ready to speak about some exciting games this episode. How about yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm always excited to speak to you, and sometimes I like to talking about games as well.
Oh, yeah, we do like games.
Combine the two, and here we are.
So what games have you been playing?
Now then, have you heard of a game called Darkest Dungeon?
Only very vaguely, so I'd appreciate some of the lowdown on that.
Well, it's one of those games that I like because, for a start, it's got title integrity. So it's about dark dungeons, in particular the darkest dungeon.
Okay. So not kind of the semi-dark dungeons.
Well, there's those as well.
All right, it's got a mixture.
But yeah, ultimately it's the darkest dungeon. And I believe this was available on PC first, unsurprisingly. And I think controls-wise, it probably suits that a lot better, but I'll come to that. But yeah, so the kind of premises of this is you've inherited this estate, and I think the narrator is your father or relative, and some shit's gone down, and he's not happy about things. I think, I imagine he's dead, which is why
it's not ideal.
Why you've inherited it. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But anyway, it's obviously very ominous. It's very dark. It's got this beautiful dark art style, and so you go to claim your estate, and there's kind of this whole ongoing narration, and the voice acting's awesome, and this guy's kind of telling you to purge the evil of your lands.
It's never that simple, is it? You can't just inherit a nice house, move in, live your life.
Yeah, there's always a fucking ghost or a curse or some family secret that's buried.
Isn't it?
Well, that's it. I suppose without that, you wouldn't have much of a game, would you?
No, probably not. So what does the game actually consist of? So
it's very much an RPG, and it's kind of interesting in the sense that it's all on a 2D plane. So you have a party of up to 4.
Okay.
And the way it's kind of set is that you're this owner or whatever, but these people are essentially your recruits, and they're coming like to earn a living and do treasure hunting and whatever else, and you get all sorts like turning up. I can't remember all the names of the different classes, but they're kind of like your typical classes, but the names are a bit different.
Thief, assassin, kind of.
Mage. But they're not called exactly that.
All right.
But it's quite funny because you can name them all. So I've been naming them. I've been naming all of them after people I know. So the first 2 characters was me and you. So there was Chris and Jimmy Pap.
Lovely.
But, so they've all got traits, and mine was just totally inappropriate because he was like a holy knight that doesn't drink. And the way the reason that's appropriate is you send them on these excursions, and when they come back stressed, or they get stressed. So as well as health, they have stress. So any sort of traps or attacks and general darkness, you take torches with you to kind of keep things light. But if it goes dark, then they start getting stressed. So when they get back, if they get back, and we'll get to this, you can send them to different places to reduce stress. So there's like
send them on a spa day.
Well, essentially, as good as there's a bar, there's a casino. Well, maybe not casino, but gambling, because it's kind of like old style. Bar, gambling hall, brothel.
Oh, that's a good one.
But my guy refuses to chill out at the bar because he doesn't drink. And then there's like a church, so you can send them to pray and stuff like that, and that de-stresses some people. And yeah, so I've kind of gone off the point. So, they were my first two characters, and you get these more recruits as you go on, and you assemble these parties and send them on excursions to do quests and gradually try and level your way up to, I suppose, the more difficult dungeons. But I think this is one of the, like, I kind of play it in small chunks, bite-sized chunks, really, because it's actually quite stressful because
okay, so not just for your characters but for you as well.
Well, yeah, the thing is, if the characters die, they're dead forever.
Got some permadeath going on.
Yeah, so I always like that as a kind of no bullshit approach to gaming, but at the same time, like I think one of the best things I can say about this game so far is that there's no battle that feels unsubstantial. Like, it's quite easy for things to fuck up, and you have to really be careful and not get overconfident and just go. Okay. You can't just go, oh, I think I can hack another battle, because like stress for a start can kill them. Like, so they might have all the health or a lot of health, but if they get too stressed, they can end up like having a heart attack.
Oh shit!
So I've already had like 3 characters die from that. And there's loads of kind of interesting things as well, like with the personality traits. Again, when they get stressed, some people kind of rise to the occasion and get like a buff, whereas others freak out and get. Well, what's the opposite of a buff?
Nerf? Well,
yeah, I suppose.
That kind of thing.
So they might like panic and skip goes or whatever.
Ah, okay.
So it's quite a clever mechanic. And they also come back, if you get them too stressed, they come back with kind of permanent-ish traits that you can heal, but okay, it costs time and money, so you end up with more than one party, because most of the time when your party come back, you have to let them chill out in the bar and pick another party to send on the next.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much summarised what I've been doing with that game. I've played it a reasonable amount. I haven't got that far. As I say, I only tend to do a few excursions at a time. You get back and think, oh fuck me, that's stressful. I hope I've got enough money to pay for all these guys to go to the bar and brothel.
Sure.
Because each time they go out, you have to send them with rations and everything. If you don't send them with enough torches and shovels to clear paths and food for healing, then it can just go south really quickly. So. But it's got a lot of weight to it. It feels like everything you're doing is quite substantial, which I think for role-playing games, it's easy just to have like random battles that just have no weight to them.
Sure, yeah. So there's never any kind of low-level steamrolling kind of battles where you just feel like you're grinding aimlessly.
Exactly, yeah.
There's always a bit of tension there. Yeah, sounds good. So, what else have you been cracking on with?
What else have I been cracking on with? Good question. Let me get my list out. Oh, okay. So
obviously some very memorable video games.
Well, I don't really want to dwell on these for too long because, well, I've completed Not a Hero now, so I've rolled credits on.
Well done.
And I don't think there's a huge amount more to say other than what I've already covered. I've really enjoyed it. What I would say is it gets a lot more difficult towards the end.
Right.
There's these little ninja characters that can kill you in one. So if they can't kill you from a distance, but if they get close to you, they just cut you up and kill you in one. And there's no checkpoints in this game. I don't think I said that in the last.
Oh shit! So every time you die, you have to start from the beginning.
Yeah. So these levels aren't massive, but they're not small either. So especially like as in the last kind of 5 missions, like you get really far and then you overlook something and you're dead and you're going to do all the other side. Jeez. But, also, I suppose one thing I did notice is that, so after I completed it, I went back to do some of the earlier ones to pick up the things that I'd missed, and you just feel like an absolute boss because because your skill level has gone up so much from when you did the earlier levels.
Sure. So your characters don't get better as you go on. It's just your own skill that's improved, is it?
Yeah. So you do unlock additional characters, like I mentioned last time, and I still think my favourite is the alcoholic with the 2 shotguns.
Oh yeah, he sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah. He was just the most effective for me. But you do get some ones with special abilities that were like one of the later ones has a samurai sword special ability. And do you remember I said about there's that investigator that runs, or not investigator, but guy you have to take his briefcase, and it turns out you've murdered the wrong guy.
Yes.
Well, you have to chase him through the whole level, and it takes quite a while to kill him. Whereas with this samurai woman with a special ability, you just run up to him, press triangle, and he just dies straight away.
Oh, nice.
So it just makes that level really easy. But yeah, so I might go through and try and unlock some more of the... Because it's like, I'm like 70... Although I've done all the levels, I'm like 75% complete in terms of the objectives.
Oh, okay.
It's really difficult to do all the objectives on one level. You can't... One thing I realised as well is, say, going through the game, I'd unlocked 2 of the 3 objectives. I can't go back and just do the one I've missed. You have to do the other 2 plus the one you've missed, all in one.
Okay.
So
that makes it difficult then.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. So I'd like to 100% it, but I imagine it'd be pretty frustrating, especially with how hard some of the levels get. So yeah, that's done. Done and dusted for now.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I got an achievement, so
makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it?
It really does. All that time, then you get a ping. It's all good.
Lovely stuff.
So, tell me, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I've been playing a couple of new releases that I've been looking forward to. First of all is Mass Effect Andromeda. Now, I really enjoyed the older Mass Effects, although I never made it all the way through the trilogy. But
did you complete the second?
I didn't even complete the second, which is a pretty poor effort. I just got part way through the second one. I think I got towards the end and never completed it. So I
think the second was my favourite.
Was it?
Well, I think I preferred the. I think the second was my favourite. I really liked the first, but mainly because it had Rex in it.
Yeah.
Rex. And the third, yeah, I kind of lost interest in the third.
Fair
anyway,
enough.
carry on.
So, I wanted to try out Andromeda. I didn't really want to rush straight in there. And thankfully, they had a nice EA Origin Access deal thing where if you signed up to their subscription service for a month, you can get, I think it's a 10-hour trial of the game, which is quite nice. So I got to try that out. Obviously, a free demo would have been better, but I didn't mind paying a few quid just to give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I definitely enjoyed my time with it. I didn't play it for the full 10 hours, probably about 5 hours, 5-6 or so. It then got to the stage where it says, we can't let you see any more of the story. So I think it's because you could play this before the game even came out. I think it was to stop like speedrunners rushing through it and spoiling all of the storyline. So you can play it as much as you like for 10 hours, but you can only progress so far throughout the actual story mode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a sensible decision. Now, it felt very familiar. It didn't feel like a huge departure from Mass Effect. It's been a long time since I played it, but it had the kind of tie to combat which came about in the newer ones. Obviously, I never played number 3, but I heard the combat was still pretty good.
Yeah, I think 3 and 2 was very similar combat-wise.
Whereas 1 was obviously a bit ropey. They did improve on that. That was one of the main downsides of it.
1 was very different, yeah.
And yeah, it has all the same old, all the different dialogue options, different ways of approaching missions, and the dialogue is really good again. I often, in an open world game, I don't often bother to kind of sit through lengthy conversations with NPCs, listening to them drone on, but I actually found that in the starting areas, I was speaking to every NPC, doing every side quest, listening to everything they had to say, and I was just quite into it. I was just quite interested in all the stuff they were saying about what had gone on in the world. A brief overview is that you're part of a big crew, well, one of several crews of the human race who've been sent out into space several hundred years ago, actually, put in cryostasis, and you finally reached one of several planets which we scanned from afar. We were like, yep, they look great, we can live on those. So they shuttled us all out. You're one of the guys who gets shuttled out. You wake up finally from your cryostasis, and you get to explore the world, which was supposed to be a beautiful, idyllic, perfect place for humans to live. Obviously, it doesn't quite pan out that way.
Well, that's like we were saying earlier, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be much of a game if...
It wouldn't. It'd be a nice happy ever after. But
just an opening sequence followed by an end sequence, followed by credits.
Yeah, just a nice long cutscene of everyone moving in, growing old, reproducing. Yeah, it'd be beautiful. But no, it's not like that at all. And, you know, the first mission where you touch down, there's evil aliens there. I mean, first of all, you can tell by the environment that something's gone wrong. But yeah, there's kind of a malevolent race on the planet, and they open fire.
Are they a different race to the ones we're familiar with? I'm trying to think what they are, Taurians and...
Yeah, I think they're a brand new one. Yeah, I still can't remember. Asari, that's one, isn't it?
Asari, Taurian.
What is Rex? Krogan. Yeah.
There was some annoying ones that you never actually got in your team.
There were the ones that were really weird and skinny, kind of very standard alien-looking kind of ones. I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I used to know all that. But okay, yeah, so they're a new alien race.
Yeah. So that mission actually felt very reminiscent of the first mission of Mass Effect 1, actually.
Well, where that guy immediately gets murked.
Yeah, where, again, you touch down somewhere, shit hits the fan, that kind of thing. So it kind of felt a bit nostalgic. I feel like those few hours that I played, it properly kind of relived what I enjoyed about Mass Effect. I guess there's a few other things to say about it. I decided to play as a female Commander Shepard for the first time.
Of course you did.
Commander Shepard. It's not Commander Shepard this time. This time it's Commander Ryder, or at least Ryder anyway.
Right.
Yeah, so okay. I always used to be the male Commander Shepard just because it seemed appropriate, you know. I'm James Shepard, so it seemed appropriate to make the commander actually like me, but didn't have that this time around, so decided to be a female.
Commander Ryder.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really taken with the generic default character. Now, as you know, there's always like a character customization, so I definitely decided to customize.
Oh yeah, you've got to.
Yeah,
bright red hair.
Say again?
Bright red hair.
No. Well, to be fair, she is a redhead, but not bright red hair. So yeah, I'm a female character, which is quite cool. Something a bit different.
Aren't they twins?
Yes, I don't fully understand how that plays into it yet, but there are twins, and you choose to be either the man or the woman, the brother or the sister, and you can actually customize both of them, but you only really play as one. At least I think so.
That's the
because I only customized the woman and couldn't be arsed with the man. I was just like, yeah, leave him as default. That's fine. But yeah, she's pretty cool. She's like a redhead, Asian, blue eyes, pretty badass looking. I didn't like
lesbian.
The look of her. Well, that remains to be seen. Probably.
Good luck.
So the game has actually come out now, and unfortunately the review scores, they've been okay, but I think the more you play it, it sounds like some frustrations crop up a bit, which is a shame. I'm still definitely going to get it at some point and play through it all, because I did like the time that I spent with the trial.
Well, yeah, that's good to hear. I must admit, I was I was very pumped for this game, and I was thinking it might be a kind of like ASAP purchase, but after the mixed reviews,
it's disappointing. Yeah, I was hoping for good things. Come to expect good things, really. From BioWare. I still think it will definitely be a worthwhile purchase at some point. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
From what I saw of it,
it doesn't have to be perfect to be well worth playing.
But speaking of near perfection, with very good review scores, I also got to play the new Zelda.
No way.
Last week. Yes way. I went round to my mate's house who's bought a Switch and had a good old play on it. I started out on his save file. We're kind of taking it in turns. He was showing me stuff. I was giving it a go, obviously not knowing what the hell I was doing. The only downside is, even though it didn't spoil any story as such, I kind of got to see a lot of the world before I've actually delved into it properly and kind of built myself up from the beginning. But it's not the end of the world. I don't feel like I had too much spoiled for me, but it was interesting to see all the stuff you can do and what the landscape's like, and how the game world has been developed this time round.
The first question that springs to mind.
Yes.
Have you met this shark?
I don't think I saw the shark guy. I did see the Zora's place, because he's a Zora, but I don't think I actually saw the Prince Shark guy.
Yeah.
I know there was quite a lot of bit of a hubbub on the internet, wasn't there?
Yeah, the world loves the shark man.
Yeah, we love a good shark man. Lots of people crushing on him a bit. So I
didn't realise Sharkman was so. Jaws wasn't that popular, was it? But
he wasn't. No, but can't tar all sharks with the same brush.
No, I suppose not.
It seems like this is a much more gallant and affable young shark man, and he's a prince, which goes in his favour.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good Prince Harry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just right for being a prince, wasn't he? Even for a ginger.
Hey, we like gingers.
One of my own. What can I say?
Oh, of course. So, trying to think of a few key takeaways. It was all quite overwhelming to see it all. I did eventually start my own game. And after...
Does it start with Link, wake up?
Yes. Yes, it does.
He's always oversleeping, isn't he? It's the ongoing joke.
Yeah, it actually starts with him waking up, not from an annoying fairy this time round, but it is someone waking up.
Not from Tingle. Is Tingle in it?
No, I don't think Tingle's in this one, which is really, really disappointing, because he's definitely one of the best characters from the Zelda series. But from what I gather, he's not in this.
Certainly one of the most memorable.
Absolutely. What a guy. I've just been playing the Wind Waker remake not that long ago, and I'd forgotten how brilliant he was. He's just the fucking weirdest guy. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's particularly outrageous in that one, I think, yeah.
So, what stood out to me about this is, it's saying about the new Mass Effect, it felt very familiar to the old ones. This new Zelda, it is so different. Your main complaint, I know a lot of the time with Nintendo franchises, is they're all the fucking same. You've gone on a rant before about Mario, how they make so many Mario games, they're always the same.
In fairness, I don't always think they're the same. I just don't. I think it's just almost the character and stories that wind me up the most. In the case of Mario, it does. Mario Galaxy and then Sunshine, where he's got this whole new dynamic with the water pistols. But it's always just Mario rescuing the princess. And with Link, it was always Link rescuing Zelda, or it was always like shock horror, the bad guy turns out to be Ganondorf. We thought it was someone else. Or Ganon, whatever the difference is. Shock horror, the person in disguise was Zelda. I think that happened a few times. There was Sheik, and then there was the pirate woman in Wind Waker. Spoilers.
Weirdly, I'd forgotten that. Weirdly, so you've just spoiled it for me, seeing as I've not.
I've re-spoiled it for you. Yeah, I think...
Now, it's interesting that you bring that up, because actually from that standpoint, not much has changed. It is the same old stuff. Fighting Ganon. Ganon's taken over Hyrule Castle in particular. So in that respect, it is very similar. But in all other respects, it is very different. Basically, the main thing that really stood out to me is it's so fucking hard. Like, it's hard to get across how difficult it is. Zelda has always been so... Well, I say always, that's not right. Some of the older 2D ones were tricky. Some of the older ones were hard, but...
Majora's Mask was... That was no bullshit, Majora's Mask. It was like... It was all on a timer. Like, if you don't hurry the fuck up, we'll blow the whole world up.
Yeah,
I go back in time, but then you have to do it all again.
I see what you mean, but I mean, I've been playing that a bit on 3D. Well, not lately, but a little while ago, I played that again on 3DS, and you're quite right. It adds, a definite sense of agency to it, but the actual key mechanics, the fighting and stuff, it's not actually super difficult.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of games now, as we know, like Dark Souls and stuff, where if you fuck up, it's so unforgiving. Like, you can go from full health to dead in no time at all. Whereas with Zelda, you had to get the knack of it. You had to figure out what you're doing.
Yeah,
but you also had
you get hit, you'd lose a heart.
Yeah, but you had a lot of hearts.
Yeah, because you could get up to 20, I think, usually.
Yeah.
So they've thrown all that out the window. I mean, you still have the hearts, but...
still get heart containers. And
you still get your heart containers.
What about jars?
No jars.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they're taking away jars. At least they've taken away jars for fairies. You don't need them for fairies anymore. I think you can use jars for elixirs and stuff.
What about milk?
Oh, good question. Don't know about that one. I'll have to get back to you on that when I get a chance to play
milk?
some more.
What's called?
Yeah, something like that. It's Lon Lon Ranch, isn't it?
Lon Lon Ranch,
yeah. But yeah, this time it is so difficult. You mentioned Dark Souls, and it actually does feel reminiscent of Dark Souls, which is so bizarre for a Zelda game. My mate, he's built himself up. He's got lots of heart containers now. He's got lots of health. But in the end of the game, there are these guardians, really tough, massive units with a huge field of view. As soon as they spot you, they ping out a laser beam. If they hit you with that laser, you die in one hit.
Right, okay.
And they sprout legs. They're like kind of War of the Worlds sort of robot things. They sprout legs and run after you. Like, it's hard to even run away from them. They're one hit kill. And a lot of the other enemies, they're like kill you in a couple of hits. So bizarre.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Your weapons, almost all of the weapons and shields and stuff are quite brittle. They just break, and you have to find new ones. You have to... This time around, you have to... there's quite an emphasis on cooking, like hunting for meat and stuff, foraging, and then cooking, because that can get you some health back, give you some buffs. Feels like Monster Hunter in that respect. But yeah, it is definitely a massive shake-up of the formula, and it's still early days. I only got to play so much, but I'm really looking forward to getting back into it at some point. Playing my mate's console again on my save file.
Just going around and continuing.
Yeah, Adam, could I come around again, please? Yeah, cheers.
Just ask when he's not in and ask if he wants you to house it.
Yeah, just go to his house. Well, I mean, he's still with his mum and dad, so I can just go around and see his mum and dad and be like, "Hey, you're right. I'm just coming around to play. Just come around to play Zelda. Don't mind me."
Yeah.
Anyway,
it makes me think of that character, the Johnny in The Room. Is it Johnny? We've seen The Room.
No, I've heard of it.
Yeah, there's just this character that inexplicably just walks into the main guy's house and makes himself at home. Never explains who he is.
That sounds great.
Yeah, just be like that guy.
Now, I've gushed about those two games for long enough. I feel like we should move on. Have you got anything else that you've been playing that you'd like to bring up?
Yeah, so I'll briefly mention The Grandfather. So I know that I promised that I would make a Let's Play video of the Grandfather.
Mm-hmm. So that's after last episode, in case you didn't see it, well, hear it, where
Yep.
I had that as my bargain bin game.
Yeah. So I have played through the Grandfather. I have recorded all of it, and I will be putting that on our YouTube channel. And I think that's all I need to say. The only reason it hasn't gone live currently is I've had some issues with editing it.
Just some technical issues.
Yeah, it was an experience. But yeah, I will be putting that on the YouTube channel.
I guess we'll get to hear a lot of your opinion when we see the video, won't we?
Well, that's it. You'll see it all firsthand.
I look forward to it. It's quite a special game, isn't it?
It's very special. Yeah, there's a lot of angles to it, and I think you described it quite excellently. But yeah, so I have played and I've completed that, and I think the other thing worth mentioning is that we played a bit of Overwatch together, didn't we?
We did, which was nice. It seems like it's been a long time not being playing it much regularly, or at least I haven't been playing it much regularly. So it's nice to have a sesh. It was good, wasn't it?
It was beautiful. There was three of us. Me, you, and Rob O'Connor.
Shout out to Rob O'Connor.
Leave us a review.
Damn right. Obviously, I think it was last episode we mentioned that Orisa, whatever, was coming, and now she has arrived.
And she has.
She seems alright, doesn't she? Not mega exciting, but I think she'll be quite versatile.
Yeah, I thought she seemed pretty good. It's already getting shouted around that one of her moves is overpowered, but I didn't experience that myself.
No, it seems like... So that's the one where she kind of launches something forward, which launches a kind of a bomb that sucks people in and damages them.
Damages at the same time,
It seemed like a lot of people... I didn't see it get used that often. Obviously, a lot of people were trying her out, but...
I saw a lot of the barrier, and her standard weapons seemed reasonably powerful.
Yeah.
And I saw her ult a few times, but no, I didn't really get much experience of the whatever it's called.
No, I can't remember the name.
Sucky-Sucky Bomb.
Sucky-Sucky Bomb, that's the one. I think that's definitely what it's called. Yeah, it'll be good to see how that pans out over the next few weeks, how people get on with her, see if she's well received, as you say, if she is actually overpowered.
But yeah, I think other than that, there wasn't much new in our sessions, was there? We played quite well. We won. I threw us into competitive against your will.
Yeah, against my will. I was just wussing out, really. And yeah, we did well. It was nice to play as Lucio again. I'm intrigued to see the new changes that are coming for him. For anyone who doesn't know, they are giving him a bit of a shake-up. He's super popular and super effective. He's sort of overpowered, but he sort of isn't. But the problem is that everyone just always picks him, especially for competitive, like high-level competitive. Like there's practically a Lucio in every single game because he's so versatile. And one of the main things is his passive healing or speed boosts have got such a large range on them. It just makes him so useful, even though he himself isn't that powerful. But they're massively reducing the range that he can heal people at. So they're making him, I think, slightly more powerful, slightly faster while he's wall riding. So it's going to be more of a case of zipping around and going to teammates as they need you, rather than just being able to sit somewhere vaguely in the middle and everyone gets your passive healing.
Yeah. And I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will. Because the healing's actually cranked up. I think it's going to be like doubled or, I don't know, 50% more or something. It's going to be stronger. So yeah, be good to see how that ends up. We'll get back to it at some point on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll end up playing that.
Now, let's move on to our features. I'd quite like to hear about your toilet game that you've been playing.
Yeah. Wobblers.
Great name. Was it a great game?
No.
Well, that's a shitter, isn't it?
It would be a shitter of a toilet game. It's not a bad game, and it's not badly made. It just, to me, it just wasn't for me, and it was just dull. Like, it was just, I just found it a chore from the off. So I think you're pretty much, I think the sad thing is, your summary pretty much summed up the entirety of it.
Really? Was that shallow?
Well, you tell me, you're a hoverboard thing, and you're travelling upwards, and you can tap left or right, and that's about the extent of your input.
Okay.
You have a wobbler on your board, and your wobbler collects things as it's on your board. So there's coins and stars and power-ups.
All the typical things you'd expect to see in a nice mobile game, by the sounds of it.
Yeah. And you lose when you have no more wobblers on your board. But you don't lose. I think, again, this was one of the first things that put me off. It was like one of 300 stages. I know earlier we were talking about whether it's an endless runner or not, and it kind of is, in the sense that you could literally just keep going on forever for every stage.
Okay.
And get as many points as you could. I personally didn't see any point in that. I didn't play it for too long. Maybe there is a point in that. But it was just like, so say, for example, on the first one, it'd be like, I don't know, collect 10 coins. And sometimes, because it seemed to be somewhat randomly generated, sometimes you could literally just press nothing and get through it. And I'm sure this isn't the case further on when you're on level fucking 275 of 300 or whatever.
No, probably not.
But like, there was times when I was just massively exceeding what I needed to get just by like occasionally tapping left or right. And there's such a massive element of luck because other wobblers fall down as well. So one wobbler might fall off, and then you just pick another one up and carry on, and it might just conveniently fall onto your hoverboard thing. So anyway, yeah, so there's different goals for each level. So it might be collect a certain amount of coins, collect a certain amount of stars, stay in the game for longer than a certain amount of time, get a certain number of wobblers on your board at one time, and then every time you complete it, you get another. But all the levels, they kind of look and play the exact same, so
doesn't really feel like it doesn't really feel like it's progressing much as you go on then.
Well, it's difficult to say too much because I didn't do that many of them, so, but I can certainly say it didn't grip me enough to carry on playing. That's just like,
well, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, I think it would be all right for a toilet game in the sense that it is that easy to jump in and out of. But for me, I just didn't enjoy it. So
no. Well, sorry to hear it, but onwards and upwards and all that. So would you like to hear
we
about?
Can't have them all as good as Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah, Fire Emblem. That was the last one, wasn't it? You did enjoy that. We'll move on to the next one. Hopefully, you'll have a bit more success with this. It's called Tiles and Tales, or Tiles and Tales Puzzle Adventure, to be precise.
Is that Tales as in Tails or Tales?
It's the latter. The stories.
Oh, that's a shame.
Stories of your tiles.
I was hoping it'd be something like rats trapped in
you like
kitchen
rats,
tiles.
don't you?
I do love rats. I love a good rat.
But no, it's not. It's stories, magical medieval stories. I'll give you the synopsis, shall I? Let's see. Tiles and Tales is a free fantasy puzzle adventure with RPG elements set in a magical medieval universe. Join Lily on her adventurous journey to save her kingdom Zanera from evil monsters called the Norbolds.
Fuck me, they've just pulled that out of a hat, haven't they?
Yeah, it's literally utter shite, isn't it? USPs: swipe and stack tiles, fight hundreds of enemies, become a mighty hero.
I love how mundane the first point there was.
Yeah, swipe and stack tiles. That's the most important one.
Jesus Christ. Okay, cool. Yeah.
No, come on. It's for extra detail here. We've got unique sliding block puzzle gameplay with awesome mechanics.
Awesome. Excellent.
Awesome mechanics. So it's a free to play. I know you like it when you don't have to put any cash down.
So, yeah.
Give it a go. You never know. You might enjoy it.
Well, I kind of have to. I'm kind of
You've not got any choice. It's too bad, really. Too
in.
bad.
Count me in.
Lovely. Great. I look forward to hearing about it next time. Which means it's time to move on to Bargain Bin Bundle Bollocks.
Yes, my favourite time of the week. When I get to hear what self-punishment you've inflicted on yourself.
My favourite and least favourite time of the week is the old quadruple B. This episode, it was an interesting one. I mean, last episode was a very interesting one. But this time it's interesting for a different reason. It's called A Blind Legend. Now, this was part...
What, Stevie Wonder?
Well, he was a blind legend. Or is he still alive, or did he die? Well, moving on. This is not about Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
This is about a different kind of blind legend. Now, this was part of the Tempest bundle, which I got the grandfather in. For a mere,
fantastic.
Yeah, for a mere £1.30 or whatever it was from Bundle Stars, I think. So I've got some real value from that bundle. This isn't a game anything like the grandfather, sadly, but I guess that was one of a kind.
Exactly. There's nothing like the grandfather out there. I can promise that.
Probably for the best. Instead, A Blind Legend has its own unique selling point in that it is actually about a blind legend, and you yourself are in effect blind. There are no visuals to this game. It is entirely through audio. And of course, controller input.
Are you sure you just didn't have the brightness on higher?
Struggling through this whole game because I didn't think there were visuals, but actually my monitor was just too dark.
Yeah,
it's entirely possible. But no, I don't think that's the case. I think it's giving you some real immersion by making you blind. Now, for extra added
saved on a graphic designer as well.
Fucking did. I mean, well, in fact, I'll get to that in a minute. Now, for extra authenticity, I actually closed my eyes while I was playing this. Put my headphones on, laid back.
Did they tell you to do that, or did you just feel like?
No, I just felt like getting in the zone, man. I just felt like, becoming the blind legend.
You're very into your immersion, aren't you? You play Lucio, you start listening to dubstep. You play the blind legend, and you close your eyes.
Yeah.
You play Legend of Zelda, and you dress only in green.
Not sure about that last one. Well, time will tell. So, obviously, everything's delivered to you through audio. You know, kind of recommend that you use a headset for it. It's telling a story. It's another kind of medieval story, like Tiles and Tales, a medieval tale of the story kind. It's not the most exciting of stories. Some bullshit about this blind guy, this blind knight. For whatever reason, the kingdom is like...
Was he a knight? Was he a knight before or after he was blind? Because I imagine his training was rather difficult. Unless he's fucking devil.
Well, that's the thing. I think he's probably got some kind of extra sensory perception. I didn't finish the game, to be honest. I played it for a while, but I didn't finish it. So I'm probably missing out on some background of what went on there. But it's mainly about him and his daughter travelling through the kingdom while they're being chased by the evil king's guards and stuff, and fighting all sorts of guards and bandits and monsters and bears and wild dogs and everything on the way.
Okay.
It's got some neat ideas. You can't see where the fuck you're going because you're blind. So to go somewhere, you have to listen out for where your daughter's telling you to go. So you'll hear her in your left ear, so you know you have to turn left, walk forward for a while, then check, say, am I still going in the right direction? Oh, a bit more to the right.
So at this point, what, you're using just like the arrow keys? Or
yeah, or the joystick.
WASD, or whatever.
Yeah, WASD. Or yeah, your analog stick on your controller. I was using a controller.
Okay, cool.
So there's that. There's some combat, obviously. Now,
Well, you say obviously. With these games, you never quite know.
Oh, no, you never know. You might just be clicking toilets.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, there's actual combat, and it's kind of half well conceived and half not. You have to swipe the sword with the right analog stick in the direction that you can hear the enemy, which is quite cool. You can put up your shield, you can counter attack. It doesn't really make much sense because the way this guy is fighting, by how the controls are set up, is he must stand there completely still, and the enemies are like round him, they might be behind him to the left. He just stands there, never moves, but then he'll just jut out his sword like behind him if the enemy's behind him. Or if the enemy's to the left, he'll just swipe it to the left rather than actually turning round to the left and attacking them front on. That's essentially how the controls work, which is pretty fucking weird.
Imagine the shame in the kingdom when half the army's been murked by this blind knight and his daughter, who doesn't even move. If there's someone behind him, he just casually puts the sword behind his back. Yeah,
it's a weird one. Now, as you say about saving on visual designers, they'll have definitely done that, as you say. The main problem is you'd have thought they'd have invested that into the voice acting in a game that is only audio. It's literally nothing but audio. You would hope.
It's also a game that's valued about 40 pence.
Well, yeah, maybe I expected a little bit too much, but yeah, unfortunately the voice acting is awful. It is so contrived. Like, well, basically, if you can imagine, if you and me, if we were just walking down the streets one day and some guy was like, hey, I'm making a game, do you want to do some voice acting? We were like, yeah, we'll give that a shot. I imagine that's the kind of thing that went off in this situation, because everyone is so bad.
I'd actually be up for doing that.
Yeah,
I think you'd come out with some gold. But
yeah, I think we'd give it a good shot, definitely.
Yeah, the worse the better.
I mean, I don't think we could get much worse than these did. I mean, the blind legend himself is particularly bad, and you hear him quite loudly. It's quite clever how it's done, because you almost hear it in your... feels like close, as if it's, you know, when you're talking, you hear yourself in your own skull, don't you? But it's just really cringe worthy how badly it's done. So that's a shame, and it's one of the main things that put me off from seeing it through to the end, because it's quite a neat concept, and obviously one of the main things to remember about this is it's a it's not fully, but almost fully accessible game. You know, for people who are actually blind, like, imagine being able to actually play a game like this.
I imagine you'd be thoroughly pissed off.
What? Because it's shit.
Well, you've heard all your mates playing like all these AAA titles, and you get one you can finally play, and you haven't even invested in decent voice acting, and they've spent no money on anything else. Piss poor game mechanics, zero visuals, and they can't even get... Well, I imagine there's the main knight and there's his daughter. Those are the main two that they need to nail, and they've fucking skimped on it.
I think the daughter's probably one of the least bad out of the lot. She's not too bad, but
maybe they blew the budget on her then. Maybe that was the issue.
Maybe. The knight himself is just awful. All the enemies are really bad. They're like, oh, come here, I'm going to get you. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. That's the kind of thing that goes on.
I wouldn't surprise me if it turned out that the knight was the game designer. A bit like how Tarantino likes to act in his own films. I'll be the
Stan Lee cameos in Marvel stuff. Yeah. That sort of thing. Maybe. I think I've said all I can say about that. It was an interesting one. For the price paid, it was quite an interesting experience. I like the concept more than the execution. I can't say it was totally bollocks, just because it was something new and some of it was done.
Sounds like the storyline was pretty dark.
Well, it's dark.
That was a joke.
Dark.
I'm sorry.
That's great.
Blindingly obvious joke.
Oh my. Right, if you listen to this, I'm sorry. You're probably not listening anymore. That's it. They've pressed the stop button. They're never gonna listen to us ever again. We had a good run while it lasted. We can do what we like now, really, can't we?
Yeah, fuck it.
Well, that's that over and done with. News and releases. Mass Effect's out. I've already said that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard a bit about that.
Yeah, you heard a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple of opinions on that. Nier Automata, we've mentioned that before. That's now out. Really good reviews. I do fancy getting that at some point. I should probably correct myself. If you remember me saying, I said, funnily enough, that the lead character of that was blind.
Yeah, and then we said you're probably talking bollocks.
Now, I don't know. Maybe she is blind. I think she wears a blindfold, but she's actually an android. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. But I think there's more than one main character as well. I still need to look more into it, really.
Yeah, fuck it. Just say what you want.
Yeah, say what I want.
No one can correct us because we don't have a contact form, so...
Hey, actually, it's funny you should say that. Because I told you exactly what happened today, didn't I? Seems like a good opportunity to segue into that.
Yeah, we did want to give a shout out, so you lead the way.
Now, very unexpectedly today, I got added on Twitter. I thought it was just a standard, either a spam bot or someone who just auto adds people to try and push up their follow account. I was like, oh, who's this? But he then sent me a message and he said, hi, you have a new listener from Spain. His name's Tony. And he just wanted to reach out, really, to say hello and say that we had a new listener, which was quite nice of him, to be honest.
Yeah,
he put in the effort there. We've not put in the fucking effort to let people get in touch with us. So he's
I was very, very nice of you, Tony.
Yeah.
Thanks. Nice to hear from you.
Obviously gone to the effort there to find me and message me through Twitter. So yeah, shout out to Tony. Hopefully you keep listening, and anyone else who wants to say hello, hurl abuse at us, just give us a Google, like Tony obviously did. Find us on Twitter, Facebook.
What is your Twitter mantle? Is that the word?
We'll go with that. It's Mr. Shepherd, and that's Mister for the Mister, and then Shepherd, which is SHEPPARD. All one word, obviously. Well, Mr. Shepherd is all one thing. There's no underscore or anything in between that. So yeah, anyone else want to reach out to me alongside Tony, then please get in touch. We will have a contact form at some point. We will be on social at some point.
Yeah, it's on the to-do list. We're just waiting on a logo, aren't we, Alan?
Oh yeah,
Alan.
Where's our logo? It's okay. Good things come to those who wait. I think it's going to be nice, isn't it?
Well, a year and a half in the making, it's probably going to be all right.
I think it's probably soon going to be 2 years, isn't it? I think. Or 3 years? No, 2? Oh, I don't know. I've fucking lost track.
I think it's going to be his best work, to be honest, so, Yeah,
it's going to be fucking good. Can't wait. Put that on our website, put it on our social, and we'll be unstoppable, an unstoppable force. We'll have Tony's reaching out to us on Twitter every day, won't we?
Well, that's it. Floodgates are open now.
Got a bit sidetracked with that lovely story. Anything else? I guess another little anecdote I can say. Obviously, you know about this, but got a good gaming deal today. I do like a good deal.
Oh, yeah.
So the PlayStation Store has just started up another sale. I think it's something like only on PlayStation or something. It's kind of the exclusives for the PS4 and whatnot. Now, unfortunately for Sony, they have quite a habit of misprices when they do PSN sales. And the latest one today was Final Fantasy 15. They accidentally put it for a tenner. Now, that was only live for a few hours before they realised and took it down, but thankfully I grabbed that in time, which was quite exciting.
And I must admit, I meant to. I got the message from you when I was just getting up, and then I thought, I'll grab it after I've had a shower, and then I just forgot after. I just came into work, and then when by the time I got to work, it had gone. I'm not too bothered. I'm not 100% sure I would have played it, unless I just took off a week at work and just did a gaming week, which I'm always tempted to do. So,
but I'll get around to it at some point. I'm not actually in a massive hurry to play it. I was going to wait. I was definitely going to get it at some point, but when it came up for a tenner, I couldn't really say no to that. There's some other good stuff on sale. Nothing as ridiculously cheap as that. There's Uncharted 4 for about 15 quid. Until Dawn, $12.99. I know that comes very highly rated by yourself.
Yeah, if you haven't played that, that's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. Pick that up for that price. No, yeah, I paid full price for it.
And you got some good use out of it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's some of the best money I've ever spent. So yeah.
Great stuff. Another little release, The Elder Scrolls Legends. It's a card game that's either just come out. Well, by the time you hear this, it will have definitely come out. Not heard much about how good it is, but I don't know about you, other than Gwent, can't get too excited about card games, really.
No, I'd be inclined to agree. I can't think of, as you say it, other than Gwent, that changed my perception on everything I ever thought I knew. And real life card games, no. In a digital realm, no, I don't really. Can't think of any that I've really bothered with.
No, I briefly flirted with Hearthstone. Very briefly. I was like, I can sort of see the appeal, but it's not quite my bag. I think something like that, it's very rigid. It's very high level strategy. It's like chess in a way. That's bullshit to anyone who's actually semi interested in either chess or cards. They'll be like, that's bullshit. But it kind of reminds me.
You've probably offended both parties.
Probably.
And even the parties that do both.
Oh god, yeah, they'll be especially pissed off.
Definitely not the same.
But yeah, it's a different kind of game, isn't it? It's something where the rules are very set in stone. I'm trying to get across how I feel about them. There's something that you need to really practice. There's something that you can't just jump into and do particularly well at. You'll get obliterated to start with until you really get the hang of it. And I like something that's more, well, as we say, I like something that's more immersive. I like a game where you're properly being immersed in the world, either first person or third person, either or, but something where it's got more of a story, more character, more than just, that is completely boiled down to hardcore mechanics of just cards, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, I hear a lot of good things about Hearthstone. There's people who are really into it. And I imagine this is going to be a similar thing, Elder Scrolls Legends, but with some of the lore of Elder Scrolls. Could be interesting. You like Elder Scrolls, don't you?
And yeah, I like Skyrim. Yeah. And I quite like Morrowind. But no, I'm not that bothered about the lore or the story. But I did quite enjoy Skyrim.
Cool. Yeah, some of my favourite games ever made, to be fair. So in some ways you'd think I'd want to try this, but nah.
I think you probably should, to be fair, just to maybe broaden you.
Fuck it, yeah, should I try it? It's probably... Yeah. I presume it's free to play. I haven't actually checked that. I should verify that before I go spouting more bullshit. But...
Well, no, you've said it now. You're dead to
Come on, Google. Elder Scrolls... we're doing this now as a service to our listeners because they would never do this themselves. Oh, it's got a 8.3 on IGN, so
there you go.
78% on PC Gamer, so it sounds decent enough. Now, is it free to play? I don't actually know. I can't work it out. Is it free to play? Fucking hell, this is rubbish, isn't it? What are we doing? What am I doing? Shocking. Pass. Well, no fucking idea. It's a game.
We can clarify next episode.
We can clarify that at a later date, can't we?
Once you've played it.
Yeah. Once I've actually played it. I think it's going to be free to play, isn't it? Surely. There's no way they can compete with stuff like Hearthstone if it isn't.
Is that free to play?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, probably right then.
Now then, I think we've talked about some lovely games and some lovely news, and we're probably about done for this week. What do you reckon? Anything else you'd like to bring up?
I think we are done. Yeah. As usual, if you've enjoyed the show, please do us a big favour and leave us a review any way you can. The one we check are iTunes reviews. I'm sure there's other places. We'll figure them out with time.
With time. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorting out the social, sorting out the logo. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we're going to make it more easy for people to get in touch very soon.
Beautiful. Great, well, thanks a lot for tuning in. And
yes, thank you very much.
To you again soonish.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Take care, folks. Thanks very much. Bye. Now, Jimmy.
Great.
I told you last episode that I was going to look up those characters from Fire Emblem.
Ah, you did.
And you'll be interested to know that they all are actually from Fire Emblem games.
Ah. Because you weren't sure, were you, initially?
No, it was particularly Arthur that threw me off. And if anyone looks up Arthur, I think they'd realise why. Because the art style's like totally different. And he looks like Banana Man mixed with Superman. But no, apparently he is from, let's have a look, Fire Emblem Fates. And he's called Arthur the Hapless Hero.
Excellent. Fates, that's one of the new ones, I think. I think that's one of the more recent ones on 3DS.
Ah, well, there we go. The old man is called Reese or Rice. It's spelled W-R-Y-S. So he's the guy who was always like, oh, I'm so old. I'm so glad I can help. And it looks like he's from Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem. Whatever that is.
Heard of it, but I couldn't tell you which platform it was on or how old it is.
Nope, not me. And then the final one is, well, you can help me out with this. Is it Gaius? G-A-I-U-S?
I'm going to say Gaius.
Yeah, I'll go Gaius.
I couldn't actually say.
He's the candy, if you're American. Sweet, if you're English. Loving hero. And apparently he was from Fire Emblem Awakening. So all my three favourite characters that I thought were very bizarre are actually all from Fire Emblem games. So there we go. Shows how much pair of us know about Fire Emblem.
I even played Awakening. It was a good game, although I didn't get that far, to be fair. I don't remember Gaius, but he could have well been in it.
It says he's playable. Just reading his profile here. Gaius is a thief living in Yusei, where Elise, I don't know, however that's pronounced. Will do any job if paid the right price. He loves sweets and has candy hidden all over his body. So they've hidden both sweets and candy in that sentence, so fair play.
Yeah, that's great. That's making it fully international, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, thanks for checking that out.
Well, I know the Fire Emblem fans out there would have been furious.
We probably infuriate a lot of fan bases, but...
Oh, that's it. It's just... it's kind of the gaming podcast equivalent of fake news, isn't it?
Alternative facts. That is what we deliver to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
You're welcome.